Hello friends, Satish Tiwari here from Ethical Hacking Tuition Center Jaipur, and today we are going to learn how to compile, install and build your own custom kernel in Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Okay, so if you are using Red Hat Enterprise Linux and you want to compile your custom kernel, you want to build your custom kernel, you want to install that, how you can do that? First of all, you have to go to kernel.org site, and from there you can download this file. This you can see Linux 2.6.27. Why I am downloading this file 2.6.27? Because inside my Linux I have already using the previous one. So if you want to check your kernel, you can type uname-a and you can see 2.6.18. Okay, so you can see my kernel version is 2.6.18. This is my current kernel version, and what I am going to use, I am going to install 2.6.27. so from 2.6.18 to 2.6.27. and first of all I need to download that file. You can directly download that file from kernel.org, or you can download it from my website www.linuxtiwari.com software page. Okay, so I am going to download it from my Windows machine because I have already downloaded it from internet. So I will type my Windows Linux and I will type the IP address and the file name. What is the file name? Linux 2.6. Okay, so I will type Linux 2.6 here in the Linux machine. So here I will type Linux 2.6. okay, so okay, there is a gap between Linux and 2.6, so let me make that gap 2.6. okay, so you get this file. Here is the file. Press enter, go to save. Okay, now the file has been downloaded. Press yes, run ls command to see the file. You can see this file in the red color. Okay, so this is the file we need, and now I am going to already downloaded this kernel from my internet. You can download it from kernel.org. okay, kernel.org. so once you download it and done this, you need to copy the kernel file to user src directory. So copy this Linux file to user src. Here is the all source code file. Okay, then go to that folder cd user src and check. So you can see the file is here. Okay, now before installing the new kernel, okay, you need to install few important packages using yum. So you need to configure yum. If you don't know how to configure yum, I will give the link button of that video in the I button. Okay, you need to configure yum server. So yum install Java. First of all, you need to install Java. You need to install GCC compiler. Then you need to install ncurses. Okay, so you need these packages. So I'm going to install all these packages. Press -y, and this will be installed through yum. So all the 40 package, these are the pre-requirements for your custom kernel. Okay, for new kernel. Before installing that new kernel, you need to install all these packages. Okay, once these packages will be installed and we are already inside the kernel directory, what we are going to do, we are going to extract the file. Okay, by default the file is compressed. You can see that file. I will also show you. Let it finish this downloading and installation process. So just wait. Total 40 files. Out of 40, 37 file already installed, 39, and it's complete, done. Okay, so now the package installation done. Dependency softwares, all dependency software installed. Now this is the kernel. This kernel is compressed, so you need to decompress it. How to decompress? tar xvzf and the name of the file, and press enter and done. You can see decompression is going on. This file is so big. Once decompress, its size is so big. Okay, now once the file will be decompressed, we run mr proper command, because we need to make sure that no any old files or configuration information exists there before we do anything with the source code. Okay, so first of all, let wait few minutes and decompression process will be done, then we will move ahead. Okay, so decompression done. Clear the screen. ls command, you can see the blue color is the file which we need. Okay, decompress file. Now if you want, you can delete this red file, that is linux 2.6.4.6.tar.gz file, because you don't need this file anymore. Now you need to run make mr proper. I told you why we're running this command, because we need to make sure that no any old files or configuration information exist. Okay, so before making change to the source code, you need to make sure. So you can see make mr proper, no rules to make target mr proper. Okay, it's telling no rules to make mr proper. It means nothing, no issue with the machines, so everything okay. Just let me try mr. Okay, okay, so there is no problem. Now we can configure linux kernel using menuconfig. So the command for that is make menuconfig. So let me see the command make menuconfig. The command is correct. Run ls command first. Okay, okay, we need to go inside the folder first. Okay, sorry. Okay, and then we need run this command make mr proper. Okay, once done, then you need to run make menuconfig, and then it will open up this one. So you can see linux kernel configuration. So you are inside the kernel now. You can make changes here. Okay, like by default this is RHEL 5, so only file system support. So I am going to the file system, and by default it is supporting ext2 and ext3 only. If you want to support ext4, you can give support to ext4 by just going there and press a space key, and this will be option will be selected. If you want this one, you can select this one also by just pressing. You can see, so you can enable security features, extra security features using this. So I am using this file system also inside this one. So you can do whatever you want. Okay, once you're done, you can click on exit. Then if you want to make like device driver, firmware drivers, you can do that. Even in the kernel hacking process, you can go here and you can enable, disable certain things from the kernel. So you can remove, you can make changes, you can build your own custom kernel from here. Whatever you want, you can make changes here. This is the place which is very important. Okay, so by default you can say enable default logic, everything here. So let me exit from here. I am not going to make any changes here. You can see security option. In security option, by default these options are available. And if you want root plug support, by default this is not enabled. You can make it enabled by pressing a space key. Okay, and also you can see by default this machine has a AC Linux support. So if you want to remove AC Linux, you can simply remove AC Linux. Now there is no AC Linux, that is security enhanced Linux support inside this machine. Okay, so now you can go to exit. Now if you can see cryptography, virtualization, you can see this virtualization option also. Okay, by default PCI driver, virtual device experimental enabled. By default kernel virtual machines KVM support not enabled. You can enable it. Okay, so you can see you can enable it. So I am not using AMD, I am using Intel processor, so I will update it or enable it for Intel only. Okay, and just you can go to exit. Once done, what you need to do, you can see if you can make changes everywhere in the, even in the networking devices, network drivers, no, everything you can make. So you can go to exit. It's asking, do you wish to save your new kernel configuration? Yes, press enter on yes and done. So the new kernel has been customized. Our custom kernel has been done. Now, before using this kernel, you need to compile this Linux kernel which you just made. So run make command to simply run make command to compile. Now this will take so much long time. It could be 30 minutes, maybe more than 30 minutes, depending on your hardware configuration, how fast your computer is. Okay. But if you are running on this Red Hat Linux machine or a real machine, it will take less than 5 minutes. No, real machine means not virtual machine, on a real machine. So it will take, this compilation will take 5 to 10 minutes only. But if you are running this on virtual machine, you know that the virtual machine is a little slower than your real machine. So it will take little more time, approx 35 to 40 minutes. So you have to be patient while this installation is going on. I might skip the some part here, okay, and I will move to the next step. So just keep watching. So as you can see, the compilation done. It take 15 minutes in my system. Okay, so I have successfully compiled the kernel. Now it's time to compile the kernel modules. Okay, it's time to compile the kernel modules. It will also take some time. How to compile that? You have to type make modules. Okay, you have to run make modules. This command will compile the kernel module. So simply after compiling the kernel, you have to write or you have to compile the kernel modules, and that's why I type here make modules, and you can see the modules has been compiled. So it's found two section mismatches. Okay, to see the full details, build your kernel with, you have to type this one, make config underscore debug underscore section underscore mismatch equal to yes, equal to yes. Press enter. So once compiling the kernel modules, you have to, if you find any mismatch, you have to run this command. This command will look for the mismatch modules, okay, and it will fix them. So match mismatch module. So this command actually we run to match all the mismatched modules, okay. And after this, we are going to install the kernel modules. Okay, so everything will be all the mismatch will be matched. Then we will install the kernel modules. Before that, we are not going to install the kernel modules. So it will take some time. It may take 10 to 15 minutes depending on your hardware. Actually, okay. So everything, depending on your hardware configuration. So just wait for it. I am going to skip some like this process. So this process is going on. So I will pause the video here so that it will not waste your time. So we successfully match all the mismatch module, and now it's time to install the kernel modules. Okay. So we have already done the matching. Now it's time to install the kernel modules. So the command for that is make modules underscore install. Make modules underscore install. So we have typed the wrong spelling, so I have to make it correct. Okay, so make modules install and done. So this command will install the kernel modules. Once the kernel module installed, you need to install the new kernel. Now you are allowed to install the new kernel. Clear the screen, and now I can install the new kernel. How to install the new kernel? Simply type make install, make install, and this command will install the new kernel 2.6.27. So right now you can see our kernel is 2.6.18, but since the new kernel has been already installed, now if you reboot you will find this new kernel also. So you will find two kernels. So let's reboot the system and check. So I simply type reboot command to restart the system, reboot the system, and during reboot now you will find two kernels, the old one and the new one also will be available now, and you can log in from that new kernel with the same username and password. You don't need to change the username and password, okay? Only the kernel has been changed. So you can see here, if you press the downside arrow key here, you can see 2.6.27 and 2.6.18. so 2.6.18 was my old kernel and 2.6.27 is my new kernel. You simply press select this new kernel and press enter,